Hey guys, welcome back to Toon-Gi-Oh. I haven't done a video in a while, so I thought I'd come back with my main deck that I'm playing at the moment and seeing relative success, which is, of course, Dark Magician. Now, this deck, funnily enough, is quite expensive. A couple of the choices in here absolutely can be swapped out for other things, so keep that in mind. Budget players, you probably want to look away from this deck, funnily enough. Magician Souls, I would say you need this card. It really, really powers the deck ahead. So just keep that in mind when you're looking at the list. So starting off, of course, we've got the 3 Dark Magician. I really don't think you can run any less than that. It's the main card you're summoning in the deck. It's your main interruption with your Eternal Soul and your Circle set up. You need the 3 because there's a lot of banishing cards and effects at the moment. You really have to have all 3. I mean, people are playing Ice Dragons, Prisons, and things like that like mad, especially for things like Elder Lich, so you have to be protecting yourself as well and making sure that you are running 3. We are running the Dark Magician Girl. If you saw that, you did see that right. Drawing 2 cards off of Soul Servant is way too good not to do, and utilizing cards like the Dark Magicians in your extra deck as well, summoning 2 cards, and then you can make a Verte Anaconda, for example, to drop your Red Eyes Fusion. Yes, we are playing that card, just for any warnings, is really good. So drawing 2 rather consistently is too strong to put in the other brick. Another brick, of course, we've got Red Eyes Black Dragon. We are playing Dragoon. You have to play this card. Now for the only normal summon in the deck, we've got the 3 Magician's Rod. This searches any card, any spell or trap card with Dark Magician in its name from your deck. This is your starter. This gets you everything you need that'll chain into other cards. Absolutely top tier card. And the effect to tribute a spellcaster, so you can tribute, for example, your Dark Magician that you've already utilized the circle play with this turn, and then just grab this back to your hand, and then Eternal Soul the Dark Magician again, so you can add another card with this bad boy. Super, super big, crazy card. And then this is the Money Boy. We've got the 3 Magician Souls. Its uses are multiple, you know. You can get it as a body on the field by dumping your Dark Magician Girl or your Dark Magician. Big. You can do that. Then normal summon Rod, add a spell or trap with Rod. Go into Verte Anaconda, dump the fusion, and then you've got follow-up plays. Alternatively, you can summon it, dump the cards, and draw your cards. The card's just way too powerful, absolutely necessary. And you can also go into Relinquished Anima if you want. If your opponent doesn't play around that, suck up their monster. But insane card. Draw Machine, Dump Master. It's just very big for the deck. Now just moving on to hand traps. We've only got the 3 Ash Blossom and Joyous Spring. Ash is the most generic. It's the most useful. It hits the most cards, especially the local environment. This is all I would be playing right now because the rest, like you could play Gamma in this deck, for example. Gamma isn't too bad, and Nibiru is quite good in this deck as well. It's just getting over the Nibiru token can be quite tough in this deck. You pretty much have to rely on your circle play, which is quite hard, or making it that Dragoon. But you generally want to be going first in this deck. That's why I don't advise for Nibiru in the main. Moving on to spell cards, you've got the triple Dark Magical Circle. Play this card, look at the top 3, pick a card with Dark Magician in its text or a Dark Magician itself. Whenever you summon a Dark Magician, once per turn, banish a card. It does target, which is a bit of a shame, but it's a searcher, a continuous banisher. It's a crazy card. You have to run this at 3. And now on to the big boy. We've got the 3 Soul Servants. What an insane card. Being able to put whatever you want on top of the deck and then immediately banish it to draw that card, or if you've got the Dark Magician Girl in the graveyard already, you can draw 2 cards, which is absolutely bonkers. You get the cards you need and something a little extra. Really strong. Need the advantage in this deck because some of your plays can be quite costly. Now we've got the 3 Red Eyes Fusion here. This is a going first deck. This deck can utilize Red Eyes Dragoon way more than most. It's absolutely necessary. You have to run Dragoon. You have to run this card. Incredible card. Until it's banned, you're going to keep playing it, especially in this deck, because there's a few ways you can bring it back multiple times, which is really, really cool. Like this is one of the reasons. So, Magical Eyes Fusion, you can send this off of Verte Anaconda, or just play it raw from your hand, and you can banish the Dark Magician and the Red Eyes Black Dragon after you've used them, and summon your second Dragoon, which is really, really clutch. Most people don't expect that. Really strong. Secrets of Dark Magic, again, absolute powerhouse. You do need this for the Dark Magicians and your Red Eyes Black Dragoon as well, and this is searchable as well with your rod, so you can. It's just a nice one-off to have. Wouldn't run it anymore. The fusions aren't that important except for Dragoon, and you've got other ways to get that. And now just to counteract a few other hand traps and just monster effects. So triple tactics talent, you're going to run at 3. Great going first and second. Rod is an absolute... Like, you've got Rod, you've got your Circle, and Soul Servant. Even there's so many cards in this deck that people are going to want to hand trap. So you just have to be wary of that, and you want to be able to get some advantage of it. Just drawing that, it's often one little combo piece that you're looking for to just progress within the game state. So Pot of Prosperity is quite good for this reason as well. But I like the triple tactics talent. There's a lot of Dragoon at my locals. Just being able to steal that is fantastic. But it's just a really all-around great card. You need that combo piece, draw 2, get the combo piece after your rod fails to search you a card. And then just moving on to the Cosmic Cyclones. You want to get through on this deck. You want to banish. The deck struggles a bit against Eldritch. You just want to get rid of those spells and traps, and you just want to make the board clean for your summons of Dark Magician when you've got the Eternal Soul on the board. Really important to have that, so Cyclone's fantastic. It's just way too good, this format. You've got the one-off Called by the Grave. Again, you have to stop that Ash on your rod. You really don't want to get ashed or anything like that on your rod. You want to get that through, so you play the one-off Called by the Grave. It's really flexible as well. Again, but using Eldritch as an option. You get rid of the Ben 10 with this as well, playing against Drytron. Really, really good card is Called by the Grave. Please, God, bring it back to 2 or 3, Konami. Now, moving on to the traps. So, most important card of the deck, probably, is the 2 Eternal Soul. So, being able to special summon a Dark Magician every turn and having them be unaffected by other cards is so strong. Just that continual resource gain that you can play, and you'll be banishing with your Dark Magical Circles as well. Insane card. I brought it down from 3. It can get a bit clogged in. Obviously, you've got the Rod and the Soul Servant. You can search the actual cards you want. So I think 2 right now is the way to go. And we've just got the 1 Magician Navigation. Not a super good card. You don't want to have to play this. The Graveyard effect is basically why we're playing this. And if you're stuck in a scenario with Dark Magician in hand and no other plays, you can play this and you can get the Dark Magician Girl out of your deck, which can be really strong, but pretty lackluster card. You need way more setup than you'd be comfortable with. I don't want to draw my brick Dark Magician necessarily, but it's a way to get it out of the hand, and the negate spell or trap effect in the grave is really, really good. So dropping this with Magician's Souls is often the play if you can. Moving on to a bit of protection. So basically you want to play Dragoon and then protect him turn 1. So you're going first. You want your Dragoon. You're going to set your Solemn Strikes. Solemn Strikes is just incredible. Stop hand tracks, set monster effects, stop summons. It's really powerful. Really low cost too. 1,500 is not a lot. Absolutely crazy card. Really recommend playing this format. Moving on, you've got your 2 Ice Dragons Prison. God, this is good. I mean, it's just against a myriad of decks. It's uberly powerful. Again, I love banishing like an Ash Blossom and then an Eldritch, little things like that. Drytron walk into this all over. Virtual World walk into this. It's good against Rogue. It's good against meta. Banishing is so strong right now, and the Graveyard, it's like a second hand. We all know that it has been for a long time, but even more so now. Crucial card. Possible move up to 3 this one. And then last of all, you've got your double crackdown. Nothing feels greater than when your opponent summons a Whiptail or something like that, and you just steal it straight away before they can do anything, make any of their Zeuses or anything like that. Great card. It can stop a lot of continual plays. This hurts Burdock quite a lot as well. Really strong card. Really do recommend this fella. Now, moving on to the extra deck. Extra deck you do not utilize a heck of a lot, but some of the cards, when you do use them, have some great impact. Obviously, the first one being Red Eyes Dark Dragoon, the big man himself. You are going to run 2 copies of this. As I spoke about before, you can summon both of these guys. So, all the more important, you're playing Protect the King. You're playing your Dragoon. You're setting a couple back row and hopefully a Cyclone or something like that, and you've got an Ash Blossom in your hand. That is as the key to this deck, and then just continual negation with the Dragoon, bringing back Dark Magician with Eternal Soul. So it's great. You get the Red Eyes Fusion. You send the Dark Magician to the graveyard. You got your Eternal Soul and hopefully your Circle. You can negate with Dragoon. You can banish with the Circle while summoning the Dark Magician to your field and doing a lot of damage very quickly, but just controlling the game from there. So Dragoon, you got to have it. You got to play at least 2. Moving on to another fusion, you've got the Dark Magicians and Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight. You don't use Dark Magician, the Dragon Knight too much, but being able to bring it back from the graveyard with Eternal Soul, because it is Dark Magician in the the graveyard can be really, really strong, and not having your Eternal Soul or your Dark Magical Circle be able to be destroyed by card effects, it can be really, really good. Very niche, but very good nonetheless. And then Dark Magicians. This card is surprisingly good. It's actually crazy. If you get in that scenario where you have to use it, it can draw you lots of resources, so you can try and play the Secret to the Magical Circle to fusion summon, then play your circle afterwards. You'll look at the top 3, you'll grab one, and then you can stack the deck and draw another one with the Dark Magician's effect. If you draw a trap, you can set it that turn and activate it that turn when you're doing it on your opponent's turn. Really, really strong. And when it dies, being able to bring Dark Magician and Dark Magician Girl on the field, possibly proccing your Dark Magical Circle and also getting the Dark Magician Girl out of your deck for additional draw with the Soul Servant. Really, really strong, underrated card. Of course, you've got the Verte Anaconda. You have to play Verte. We're playing a fusion card that's unbelievably powerful. Again, Rod, Souls, get your searches and your draws off them. Make him in this guy. Send your Red Eyes Fusion. Broken card. Nothing much to say there. Then you've got your Selene and your access code. Obviously, we're playing spellcasters. We've got a lot of spells in the graveyard. You absolutely can utilize this to absolutely OTK your opponents by summoning a Dark Magician, as well as with your Eternal Soul, blowing up their field with the access code and going from there. Great cards. You've got your Nightmares. Just if you need them. Not often that you're going to summon these, but you have to play these cards. Imduk. So Imduk is a boy. He can, in battle, he can just beat anything. He needs a normal monster to be able to summon him. Obviously, Dark Magician is our normal monster. It's a great way if you can get Dark Magician on the field, because obviously Verte Anaconda needs effect monsters. So you get your Dark Magician on the field, you turn him into Imduk. If you need to do a battle trick, you do a battle trick. But if not, you can just do Souls into Imduk, and then off you go. Make the Verde, make your Red Eyes Dragoon. And then you got IP. IP is just a little cute card. You can do some really cute plays with this. IP, I think, is a really skill testing card. Really strong. Being able to go into the Unicorn on your opponent's turn. You know how strong that is. And getting our resources back is quite easy in this deck. So it's a great card to utilize. You've got Anima. Anima is for Magician's Souls. If your opponent plays into this, it can be absolutely devastating. You have to run it just for that fact. Moving on to the Exceeds. Obviously, we've got a couple Exceeds here, so we have to play Divine Arsenal Zeus, the big Sky Thunder, the big boy. It's so funny doing this against Zodiac players after you've cracked down something and they just go, no, that's what I'm supposed to be doing. Unbelievably powerful card. Easy to summon. Very, very strong. Then you've got your Red Eyes Black Flare Metal. Oh, it's not even Black Flare Metal. It's just the Flare Metal. I know, gold, disgusting. I'm an awful man. What can I say? Great card. Sometimes you can do a lot of the time, like 7,500 to 7,900 in this deck, which is really awkward, but you can end on the Flare Metal. Then they can't play any card because it'll pop them for 500, and then that is death to them. And last but not least, you've got number 11, Big Eye. You can make it so easily, and stealing like any card is just good, removing resources away from your opponent. But there are some really big things that you can steal with this card. And you just have to run this card for the versatility alone, because any steal can be absolutely game-changing. And you can go into your link plays, obviously, after this, stealing something as well. So Big Eye gets stronger when links come in. You know, you steal their monster and link away. But no, that is all for the deck profile, you guys. I hope everyone enjoyed that. I hope you all wish to hear a little more from me. But I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, guys. Thank you so much.